To have a healthy garden that's mostly weed-free, you need to use composted manures. It's also important to not transfer bacterias onto your plants in your garden. So start by finding somebody with a horse, unless you're lucky enough to have your own, and offer to clean out their paddock or their barn of all their manure. Fresher the better. Collect it all up, and once you get that pile home, you want to shape it into a cone. So it shouldn't be long and flat, it should be shaped in a cone at top. Water that pile down. You don't have to overly water, but it should be, wet all the way through. Then you're going to cover that pile with black plastic, and this is going to allow the heat to build up in that pile to cook it or compost it or ferment it. Cover that pile with some rocks so it's tucked in, and leave it for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, you'll see it's about half fermented. It's not fully fermented. At this point, it's important to take your pile, break it apart. You can see there's your fermented bits that are doing their work, breaking down the manures, making it so the nutrients in that manure are fully available for your garden. So you want to take that pile, take it apart at the 2-week mark so that you can re-wet it. At this point, you can see the heat in the pile there. There's some steam. It's very, very hot. This fermentation process heats up and it breaks down the nutrients in the manure, and so now you need to just kind of turn that pile and water it down so that it's ready for the next 2 weeks of fermentation. As you put that pile back together in its cone shape, work around the edges of the pile to put the bits of manure that didn't get fully fermented, like the ones in the center did, and put those in the center of the pile. So just go around the pile, put all those kind of unfermented bits on the top, water your whole pile down. Again, it's helpful to water it in stages so that it's watered in the center and at the bottom of the pile. So keep adding it on, watering it, adding it back on the top, watering it down, building your cone shape back up so it's ready for its last 2 weeks of fermentation. And again, cover your pile with plastic and cover it with some rocks so it's ready to sit for the last 2 weeks of fermentation. And after 2 weeks, your manure is ready. It should have this wonderful loamy looseness to it. All the nutrients are now broken down. All the nitrogen is now available for your garden. And that's about it. 4 weeks after you started, your manure is ready to go in the garden. It'll be weed-free. All the weeds are now cooked. All the nutrients are now available for you to grow food. Go forth and grow.